A Bedouin's saying.
A Bedouin once said that if authority is given to people who are not accepted, and weapons are given into the hands of those who do not use them, and wealth is in the hands of those who do not spend it, then surely the affairs of society will be at a loss.
A dialogue between a scholar and an alcoholic.
The alcoholic said, "Do you think I am doing wrong by eating a date?" The scholar said, "No." The alcoholic said, "And if I ate with it some grass?" The scholar said, "There is nothing wrong with that." The alcoholic said, "And if I were to wash them down with water?" The scholar said, "Drink and enjoy." The alcoholic said, "Since all of that is permissible, then why do you forbid us from alcohol, which consists of the above-mentioned ingredients?" The scholar said, "I poured water on top of you. Would that hurt you?" The alcoholic said, "No, it would not." The scholar said, "And if I were to sprinkle some dirt in that, would you be hurt?" The alcoholic said, "That would not harm me." The scholar said, "But if I were to mix water and dirt together, and through a process make a large brick from those two elements, and then were I to throw that large brick at you, would you be hurt?" The alcoholic said, "That would kill me." The scholar said, "The same goes for alcohol."
Love of Allah.
Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah, said that there are 10 things that bring about the love of Allah. 1. Recitation of the Quran with reflection and with understanding of its meanings. 2. Seeking closeness to Allah by performing voluntary deeds after having performed obligatory ones, for that leads one to the highest levels of love. 3. Remembering Allah during every situation with one's time, heart, and deeds. One's share of that love is to the degree of one's share in that remembrance. 4. Preferring what He loves to what you love when your desires are strong. 5. Allowing your heart to reflect on His names and attributes. 6. Reflecting on His many favors and blessings, both the apparent ones and hidden ones, for that leads to His love. 7. Having your heart softened as it is worshiping Allah. 8. Being alone with Him in worship when He descends during the last third of the night. And this means to invoke Him, to recite His speech, to stand with all sincerity and with good manners and with good submission, and then to end that with repentance and with seeking His forgiveness. 9. Sitting with those who are truthful in their love of Allah. 10. Staying away from all that creates barriers between the heart and Allah.
The worshipper who invokes against the oppressor.
Ziyad ibn Sumayyah wrote to Muawiyah, stating, "Indeed, I have taken Iraq from my right hand, yet my left hand remains empty." He said this, implying a desire to have the Hijaz added to his governorship. News of this reached the God-fearing, pious companion, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu anhuma, who knew of Ziyad's tyranny and oppression. He raised his hands towards the sky and supplicated, "O Allah, keep us safe from the harm of Ziyad's left hand." A cancerous ulcer began to grow on Ziyad's left hand that ultimately caused his death.
Who should be followed?
A judge from Khorasan wanted to marry off his son. So he sought counsel with a man who was a follower of the Majus religion. The man said, "People come to you seeking judgment, and here you are coming to seek counsel from me." The judge said, "You must advise me." He said, "Our leader, Khusro, meaning Kisra, would choose wealth when seeking a wife. The leader of the Christians, Caesar, would choose beauty. And the pre-Islamic Arabs would choose based on ancestry and status. And your prophet would choose based on religion. So choose which among them you will follow."
Humility before three.
Al-Kisai was the tutor of Amin and Ma'mun, the two sons of Harun Rashid, the ruler of the time. One day, the tutor got up to leave, and both boys ran to their esteemed teacher in order to hand him his shoes. After much argumentation, they both agreed that each would give one shoe so both could share in the display of reverence. Upon hearing this act, Harun Rashid went to Kisai and asked, "Who is the most honorable of people?" The teacher replied, "I do not know anyone more honorable than the leader of the believers." Harun Rashid quickly replied, "No, most honorable among people is he for whom two fight to present him with his shoes, and to please both he instructs them to each give him one." Kisai became somewhat anxious and began to justify what he had done. Harun explained, "If you had prevented them from giving you your shoes, indeed, I would have unquestionably blamed you. Certainly, their deed did not comprise their honor. Rather, their status, inner merit, and worth have increased. One can never be dishonored if he displays humility before these three: a leader, a teacher, and parents."
The prodigious understanding of Ali.
A woman gave birth to a child only 6 months after she got married. Obviously, however, most women only give birth after 9 months, or if the case is really premature, after 7 months. People began to become suspicious, thinking that the child was not that of her husband, but of a man with whom she had relations prior to her marriage. They took her to the Caliph so that she could receive her punishment. The Caliph at the time was Uthman ibn Affan, radiyallahu anhu. When they went to him, they found Ali, radiyallahu anhu, to be in his company, and he was Uthman's judge. Ali said, "You have no right to punish her for this reason." They were surprised and asked, "And how is that?" He recited to them 2 verses.
And the bearing of him and the waning of him is 30 months.
This means that the period of pregnancy, as well as the period of breastfeeding, is a total of 30 months.
The mothers shall give suck to her children for 2 whole years.
This means that the period of breastfeeding is 2 years, in other words, 24 months. Then Ali, radiyallahu anhu, said, "It is possible, therefore, for the period of pregnancy to be 6 months only." And thus was the woman saved from stoning.